The story begins with Yamada, who looks like a scary, messed up idiot and absolutely hates school. But his life changes when he meets witches that wants to kiss him. One day, his teacher scolds him again for being a terrible student and tells him to be more like Urara, the blonde, super smart girl with perfect grades. As Yamada walks through the school, everyone avoids him because of his terrifying reputation for picking fights. But instead of being impressed by Urara, he finds her annoying. So he tries to mock her, but like a total idiot, he slips, crashes into her, and they both go tumbling down the stairs. For a moment, he sees a white light, like he's about to get isekai'd. But when he wakes up, everything seems normal. Or so he thinks, until he looks down and realizes he now has a pair of melons and is missing his pickle. Did someone do surgery on him? Nope, he's switched bodies with Urara. Nah, freaking out, Yamada rushes to find Urara and sees her in his body, calmly studying in class like nothing happened. Everyone is confused, wondering what kind of expired drugs Yamada took. Urara pulls him aside and suggests they try falling down the stairs again to switch back. Yamada is all for it, but Urara refuses. She doesn't want to pass out and miss more classes. Despite feeling weird having a stick between her legs, she tells him to wait until after school. Realizing his new situation, Yamada lets his inner degenerate take over. He sneaks into the men's bathroom, peeks at his own body, and, well, enjoys the view a little too much. Meanwhile, some thirsty NPCs, random guys, start flirting with Urara, but Yamada, now in her body, shuts them down with a cute response. Instead of backing off, they just feel weirded out by how different she's acting. Yamada gets bored and decides it's time to switch back. But then, some girls invite Urara to lunch. Curious, he accepts. When he opens the lunchbox, the food tastes amazing, so he devours it. The girls laugh, and one of them, Ren, reminds him to get ready for class. Yamada opens Urara's bag to grab a book, but instead finds it full of insults about her. Then, he checks her locker and sees it's filled with trash and even more nasty messages. That's when it hits him. Urara is being bullied. Later, Yamada vents to Urara about it, but instead of getting angry, she just apologizes, saying he got a taste of what she deals with every day. Yamada remembers how she's always alone, never talking to anyone, and finally realizes she has no friends. Determined to teach those bullies a lesson, he tells Urara to delay switching back, but she suddenly gets aggressive, telling him to stay out of her business. Meanwhile, Ren watches them and later confronts Yamada, who is actually Urara in his body. She throws a bag at him and tells him that Urara and Yamada should go make weird, deformed babies together. Yamada, as Urara, isn't having it and starts walking toward Ren to throw hands. But before he can land a punch, Urara, in his body, jumps in and gets hit instead. Now she's cowering in Yamada's body while Yamada, in Urara's body, looks terrifying, scaring Ren away. Later, they return to the staircase to switch back. Urara thanks Yamada for standing up for her, and they try falling on each other again. But nothing happens. They try again and again, still no luck. Yamada starts panicking, desperate to get his sausage back. That's when Urara remembers something. When they first fell, their lips touched. Without hesitating, she kisses Yamada. Suddenly, they switch back. Yamada is in shock, completely flustered, but Urara stays calm, acting like it's no big deal and going back to studying. He's left standing there, completely confused about his feelings. The next day, they test the theory by kissing again, and just like that, they switch bodies. Urara, completely unbothered, tells Yamada to keep it a secret. Meanwhile, Yamada starts overthinking, wondering why she's so chill about kissing him. He starts suspecting. Could she actually be in love with him? Urara helps Yamada with his exams, while Yamada just chills, stuffing his face with food. But then, a white-haired dude named Mamura suddenly pulls him aside for a private chat. Mamura starts by saying that Urara, who is actually Yamada right now, was supposed to go on a date with him. This immediately makes Yamada panic. Then Mamura starts trash-talking Yamada, roasting his terrible haircut, which really ticks him off. Before Yamada can do anything, the same thirsty groupies from earlier show up, simping over Urara. But this time, Yamada is extra disgusted. These guys are the kind of gamers who don't shower. Mamura, acting like a Chad, tries to pull Urara away, but instead he gets his teeth kicked in like a total wimp. Annoyed, Yamada decides to handle things himself and kicks them away. That's when Mamura starts fake crying, revealing that this was his plan all along. Then he casually tells Yamada that he knows he's actually Yamada in Urara's body. Suddenly, Urara shows up because Mamura called for her. He then offers them a private room in his supernatural club, where they can keep switching bodies as much as they want for personal gain. But then Mamura, realizing they've only been kissing each other, decides he wants to try body swapping too. He goes in for a kiss with Urara, but she immediately refuses. So he turns to Yamada instead. Yamada, obviously not wanting to kiss a dude, backs away. But then Urara, feeling curious, grabs Yamada and holds him still while Mamura kisses him boys love style. And just like that, they switch bodies. Now they have a new theory. Yamada can swap bodies with anyone by kissing them. Mamura, excited by this discovery, starts planning to bring in more girls for Yamada to kiss, but Urara quickly shuts that idea down. Yamada suspects she might be jealous, but it turns out she just wants to keep this ability a secret. From then on, they officially join Mamura's supernatural club, occasionally helping the student council. One day, a new girl, Miyabi, shows up, wanting to join the club. She's super excited and tries to show off her supernatural abilities, first by attempting to bend a spoon. She fails miserably. Then by showing a fake alien photo and a random rock she claims is from another world. Despite her enthusiasm, the group secretly panics because they don't actually have any club activities, so they decide to just pretend to be a real club. 8. Suddenly, Miyabi bursts in with a bunch of cleaning supplies and orders Yamada to help clean. Yamada hates it, but Mamura convinces him to just go along with it. After he finishes his chores, Yamada sees an announcement that he has to retake a test. He rushes back to the club, sees that Urara is the only one there, and asks her to switch bodies so she can take the test for him. She agrees, and just as they're about to kiss, Miyabi barges in. She gives him more chores. Yamada does them, then tries to kiss Urara again, but Miyabi interrupts him again. This cycle keeps repeating until the entire club room is spotless. Finally, Miyabi is about to give him another task when Mamura saves the day by sending her to the student council office to register the club. Mamura assures Yamada that it'll take a while, so Yamada wastes no time and plays tongue twister with Urara to switch bodies. But just as they kiss, Miyabi pops up again. She starts panicking, revealing that the student council room was locked. Then, after seeing them kiss, she bursts into tears, thinking this club is just a place for degenerates instead of a real club. Furious, she declares war on them, promising they'll pay for lying to her. The next day, Yamada arrives at school only to see a horrifying post on the announcement board. It's a picture revealing that he and Urara kissed. The entire school erupts into chaos. Miyabi steps out like a supervillain, glaring at Yamada and saying, "You're a boy, and I will make sure everyone pays for this." Yamada, realizing he needs to fix this, invites Miyabi back to the club to talk, but she refuses and tries to leave. So, Yamada blocks her path and tells her she can only leave if she kisses him. Miyabi starts backing up, terrified that this man might actually make her squeal out happy noises. But Yamada doesn't hesitate. He goes on the offense and kisses her. As soon as they switch bodies, Yamada knocks Miyabi out to make sure she doesn't get in his way. Then, for cultural research purposes, he checks out her plump melons. Now in Miyabi's body, Yamada is ready to clear his name. His plan? Go around telling everyone that Miyabi lead Yamada is surprised when he hears rumors about him and Urara. But what's even more surprising is that no one actually believes them. Luck. He runs into Ren, the school bully, who tells him that everyone knows Miyabi is just an airheaded liar obsessed with supernatural nonsense. Relieved, Yamada goes back to Miyabi, only to find that she's disappeared. He asks Mamura and Urara for help, and after putting 2 and 2 together, they conclude that she probably jumped out the window. Yamada searches for her and hears from random students that Miyabi, while inside Yamada's body, was dramatically monologuing while posing like a self-absorbed fool. Then Mamura suggests checking for clues on Miyabi's body. He immediately starts touching places he really shouldn't be touching, and that's when they find Miyabi's phone in her pocket. Inside, there's a message demanding money. Turns out, Miyabi got scammed into buying those fake supernatural items she had shown off earlier. Meanwhile, Miyabi, still in Yamada's body, is getting her ass beat by the scammers she owes money to. Yamada, now in Miyabi's body, pulls up, returns the fake junk, and shuts the frauds down. The scammers mock Miyabi, saying she only bought those items because she wanted to be popular. This hits Yamada right in the feels, making him see Miyabi in a new light. The crooks try to take advantage of Miyabi's body, but bad move. With Yamada inside, he serves them a 3-piece chicken knuckle sandwich special, teaching them to never mess with boss babes. After they return to their normal bodies, Miyabi apologizes for spreading rumors and for using Yamada's body to beat up those guys, only to end up getting wrecked herself. After saying sorry, she thanks them and prepares to leave. But Yamada stops her and says, "You're part of the supernatural club now." Miyabi immediately starts crying tears of joy. To confirm that body swapping is real, Miyabi shoves Yamada into Urara to make them kiss and switch bodies. Then, she tells Yamada to kiss more people for research purposes. She forces him to kiss Mamura. Yamada protests, saying they need to stop abusing his power, but Miyabi takes the chance to kiss him herself and swaps into Mamura's body. Lastly, they attempt a girl-on-girl kiss combo, a glorious moment for the culture, but in reality, both girls are actually dudes inside. Meanwhile, their club has caught the attention of the student council. They start discussing Miura, who is also a candidate for student council president. But there's a problem. Another member, N, has ambitions of her own and wants to be the next president. A few days later, Miyabi is stressing out because the student council refuses to give their club a budget. The boys, however, don't care. She argues that they could use the money to upgrade the club room, buy a TV, research tools, and more. Yamada stands up and asks, "Can we get a microwave? I'm tired of eating cold food." Miyabi immediately agrees. Yamada wastes no time and drags Mamura with him to force the student council to give them money. They barge into the office of the current student council president, Haruma, demanding answers. But despite Yamada's aggression, Haruma completely ignores him. Mamura explains that Haruma only likes women and despises men. Hearing this absolute nonsense, Yamada unleashes his terrifying aura to scare Haruma into submission. But still, nothing. Haruma doesn't even flinch. Nay, just when things seem hopeless, Yamada comes up with a plan. He switches bodies with Urara, while Mamura and Miyabi do the same. Now, in their new female forms, the two of them pull up on Haruma, spreading glitter and girly charm, putting their plots to good use. But it doesn't work. Haruma instantly sees through them. He says, "You both still smell like men." However, this time, Haruma is willing to negotiate. He says he'll consider giving them a budget, but only if they solve a problem for the student council. And the problem? Urara, the top student in the school, refuses to apply for college. Haruma wants them to find out why. Yamada tries to convince Urara to go to college, but she refuses. She apologizes, saying she can't help with the club's budget. Later, as they all stress about what to do, En and her partner Wasio pop up. Yamada immediately recognizes Yio, who starts talking smack, saying that En will be the next student council president, not Mamura. After they leave, Mamura explains that En is his rival. If Mamura fails to get Urara to go to college, his chances of winning the election drop significantly. Suddenly, Yamada and Miyabi realize this whole thing isn't even about Urara. It's about Mamura's personal goals. But Mamura tells them they don't have a choice. Haruma is a corrupt president who will use his power however he pleases. He could abolish their club in an instant. Hearing this, Yamada smirks like a full-blown sociopath. Fine, he says. Time to go full Ayanokoji on them. The next day, after class, Urara pulls Yamada aside and asks him to kiss her. Without even questioning why, Yamada just goes for it. Then it hits him. Urara was sick and wanted him to experience it for her. Now stuck in her sick body, Yamada suffers while Mamura sees his chance to nurse Yamada in Urara's body, like he's prime Johnny Sins. Miyabi suggests that they just switch back, but Yamada refuses, because now he can skip class. Seeing an opportunity, Mamura tells Yamada to act like Urara and go home to her house. When they get there, they're shocked to see how normal her house is. Even more shocking, how cute her room is. They start snooping around, flipping through photo albums. That's when they see a younger Urara in a picture, forcing a fake smile. Wingdin, Mamura and Miyabi start messing around, but Yamada kicks them out so he can investigate alone. However, as he lays down on her bed, which still smells like her, exhaustion kicks in and he falls asleep. As he dozes off, memories of Urara and her forced smiles haunt him. Suddenly, Urara appears, demanding an explanation. This leads to an intense argument about whether or not Yamada had a wet dream about her. After a heated back and forth, they switch back to normal. Urara finally reveals the truth. She doesn't want to go to college because she knows she'll end up alone again, just like always, studying with no one by her side. Hearing this, Yamada apologizes for trespassing and leaves. But then he comes back. With a head compress in hand, he confesses something. Nins, at first I hated going to school. But ever since I met you, school's been fun. I can't wait to go to college now, so come with me, Urara. Urara blushes. And then, with a small smile, she agrees. Because more than anything, she wants to be with him. We'll see the rest of the story in the next video. Stay tuned, guys.